Hello everyone, you are watching a fragment of the Countdown program. See all of our programs on Patreon. Postscript will be released there today, about the topics of which a little later, but now to the main thing. Putin failed to turn the West's back to Ukraine. The US makes it clear that Russia will not get Ukraine. Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin arrived in Kyiv. And this is, indeed, an indicative landmark visit after the events in Israel, on which Moscow pins certain hopes. The main one is to occupy the West and the United States, in particular, with something else. After all, it is clear that the same Americans will immediately rush to help Israel, and the war in Ukraine will fade into the background. But geostrategist Putin miscalculated here too. For the current White House administration, there are no main or side directions, and the experienced Biden correctly assessed the situation, combining these two wars into one, identifying the primary source. The Kremlin is behind both the Hamas invasion of Israel and the aggression against Ukraine. He is the main instigator and beneficiary of these conflicts. And Sir Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin in Kiev speaks words addressed to both Ukraine and the leaders of aggressive Russia. I am here today to convey an important message: the United States will continue to support Ukraine in its fight for freedom against Russian aggression, both now and in future. And let the racists turn the arrows to Biden's age, who is 81 years old. November 24 will mark 21 months since the full-scale invasion of the Russians, and Kyiv has not been taken. People in the cave are beginning to whine that the duration of this so-called SVO is already comparable to the so-called Great Patriotic War, which, after all, was called a war, and not a special operation. Of course, even in this propaganda somersault the ears of propaganda stick out. After all, the Great Patriotic War was invented in order to exclude the participation of the USSR in inciting the Second World War together with Hitler. Now Russia is aiming for World War III, and the West understands this. That is why they are taking a clear course towards excluding Russia from the world political field, where Putin obsessively continues to meddle with his nonsense about multipolarity. Become our patrons right now and look further in this program. Libertarian from the Freedom Comes Party, extravagant populist Javier Milei has been elected as the new president of Argentina. He promised to abandon the peso in favor of the dollar and stop making friends with the communist regimes of Russia, China and Brazil. The ground operation in the Gaza Strip continues, and an Israeli Air Force strike kills 3 more Hamas commanders. Israeli tanks approach an Indonesian hospital located in the northern Gaza Strip. Russia continues to wage hybrid wars using migrants on the border with Finland. In response, Finnish authorities plan to close the entire border with Russia on Wednesday night. Before re-establishment, the rat climbs into every crack. Putin plans to speak at the G20 online summit. Watch in the program, Postscript. The Russians failed to take Kyiv in 3 days, but they could easily do something else: re-establish Putin in 3 days. For the first time, stringing a rat on tree stumps will take place as a 3-day vote. General goal: with 80% turnout, 80% will be for Putin. Magicians, sorcerers and fortune-tellers are about to be banned from the cave. The corresponding law is being prepared in the State Duma. And this is true. The main forecaster in Russia is Putin, sometimes Peskov. If you said that something won't happen, it means it will definitely happen. And no other worldly miracles. Baba Shura screws them all. And that is all. See our full programs on Patreon. There's a video essay tomorrow, and on Wednesday there's Baba Shura's show. I'll see the rest of you on Thursday. Glory to Ukraine.